channel, everyone. I wanted to test out this gesso. I've only used it once before, so I wanted to test it out on the thinnest of thin paper, the Amazon printed paper, and test out my new copics on top. So that's what we're going to do today. Go over with one thin layer, I'll let it dry, go over with probably another 2 layers after that, let it dry, and then we will go over the top with the copics. I got this little plaque. I hope you like it. I'm going to use it for social media, like when I finish the page I'll be able to pop it there so people know that it's me that's coloured the image in. Right, so the gesso that I've got is just a clear gesso. Arts Basics is the brand. It does go on white, but it does dry completely clear, and it just gives a texture to the page. So I've not got any fancy sponges, I'm just using one of these sort of sponges, nothing special. Literally dipping it in, as you can see. Might pop a little bit more on, and then just go over the whole of the image. That should be enough, I think, just for the first layer. I can see already that it is starting to make the page crease a little bit. I'm going to put a tiny little bit more on actually. So I'm hoping it doesn't dry like this. It doesn't dry wavy, you know, like when you use watercolour paints on this sort of paper. But I've got a funny feeling it is going to do. You can see the creases already, unfortunately. Thought I'd test it out in more of a cheaper colouring book. Number one, just in case it went wrong, and then number two, I know the quality of this paper is a lot thinner, so it is really putting it to the test. So I'm going to let that dry and then come back and do a second coat. So all I did then, I just used my mini heat gun just to dry the first layer. That seems dry enough. We'll go over it again. I'm just really curious to see if it will work with Copics. I think I'm going to use Copics for the skin, and possibly the old hoo-hoos if I've got any that's left at work, for a bit of the hair maybe, or my Winsor & Newton ones. I'm not sure. I'm going to try and keep it all one way so there's less streaks. Well, like I said, it's not behaving, this paper, how I would like it, but we'll see. You never know. You never know. So here we go. I will just film this bit if I can find the button. Right, this last layer, I will go over it a tiny bit with the heat gun, but I am probably going to let it dry on its own for at least an hour, I think. And it is quite warm in my house at the moment with the heating on. Just to definitely make sure that it's definitely 100% dry, and then we can come back. So you might as well give it a fair test. All I do with this sponge as well, I'll just rinse it under hot water and just wash all of the gesso out. I have tried white gesso before, and on this sort of white paper it dries more of a creamy shade. I mean, if you're going over the whole area with colour, it's not too bad, but if you wanted to leave some white areas, it's no good in my opinion. Right, so we'll go in last time a little bit with the heat gun, and then like I said, I will let it air dry for the rest of the way. that's all we'll do with that. So I'm just going to leave this here. It's going to be probably half an hour to an hour for me, but it'll be just in a second for you. Right, so we're back now, all dry. It's been drying for about 45 minutes, give or take, so it definitely should be okay. So I'm going to test out the copics that I've got. Copics, how do you pronounce them? Copic. And then I've got the Spectrum Noir, the pastel set, and my Ohuhu markers. I thought mix up with the colours because these are quite light shades, the pastels are light shades, but Ohuhu there is some quite dark shades that I think we should test out. So what I will do actually, I'll put this extra sheet behind here just in case. I'm thinking that it shouldn't bleed through, but you never know. I do like the image behind, so we will see. And this is only the second time that I've used these, so we will just see. So the two lightest shades we'll go in with first. I do really enjoy these, the times that I have it. I hope it's not too gloomy. It's really a horrible horrible day. So we'll just see. I'm just going to go over all of this if it's going to show up. This is quite a pinky shade actually. I've changed my mind. We'll go in with this one and this one. Where's the brush tip? There it is. That was a really pinky shade. I wanted it to be proper skin tone colour. So we'll see. I'll not turn the page over until I've finished the skin. The actual brush nib on this. I love it. It's so much easier to use. I understand the hype now. I mean the ink's going down just fine. There's no problems there. So the gesso hasn't actually changed the paper. I read somewhere as well that using gesso on a page, it stops the paper from sucking up all the ink, so you will save on your pens. But I think they are coming up slightly lighter than the last time that I used them, so that again, that must be something to do with the gesso. I'm not sure. So I'm just going to add a little bit of shading. And then I'm going to go over it again with the lighter shade and try and blend it. Shall I zoom you in a little bit there? I am no expert by any means with alcohol markers. I just try my best. And it is moving, it's the pigment around. Can you see that? The darker pigment, it is moving around quite easily. I'm a bit worried that it's going to be quite patchy this though now. Can you see what I mean? Can you see how streaky it's going? I'm not quite sure about this. I might have made a mistake here, guys. Well, at least I've made the mistake so you don't have to. Can you see? Oh, that's horrible. Yeah, I don't like that. And I know it's not these pens. I know it's definitely not these pens. You can see it terribly. Right, we'll just go with it and we'll just see. Right, so I'll go in. I'm going to pick a really dark shade now. It was a good job I picked a picture that I wasn't really too fussed about, wasn't it? Right. This is a pretty dark shade and bright pink. Right, and then we'll just go in. I will colour her top in this colour. See, this is coming off more vibrant Maybe it's something to do with the copics. Oh, can you see the bleeding? Can you see there? I literally just touched the page and it bled terribly. Let me see if I can catch that again. See, I'm barely touching, like, barely touching the paper and it's bleeding everywhere. I don't think it is the Copic markers. I don't think alcohol markers like gesso. The texture is so weird. You see how it's bunching up, it's not drying. We'll just go over here. Well, this is definitely a fail, but I'm glad I've done it so you don't have to. I'm gonna have to test some more mediums on different paper as well. I wonder how Inktense would behave. So that is definitely a disaster. We'll try another darker shade and we'll just see. So a very dark green. I'll try that on the wings, see what happens. Yeah, as soon as you're touching the paper, it's bleeding terribly. Look at that. So yeah, I would not recommend clear gesso. This is the reason that I bought it as well, so that's really unfortunate. I'm gonna have to find another way of using this. But I wouldn't recommend clear gesso with alcohol markers one bit. Look at that. It doesn't seem to want to dry as well. You see the pigment moving around. You know what? I'm not even gonna bother finishing that. It's just gonna be a waste of ink. So anyway, let's turn the page over and see how much, or if it has bled through. No, it's not. See, it's done its job there. It's not bled through one bit, and you saw that there was pretty dark colours there. But I don't understand what's going on there. Am I doing something wrong? You can see how it's trying to dry there. And actually when I'm moving the paper, you can see the strokes from the sponge. So yeah, I think this page is not going to get finished off. But I hope you enjoyed this video. It was more of a testing, informative video. Don't use alcohol markers on clear gesso because it won't work and you're just wasting your ink. So yeah, I'm gonna I'll write down everything that I did so I remember. So hopefully the next video will be a bit more cheery. Oh dear. See you next time. Bye.